Holly,
Here.
Molly Maniak,
Here.
Lauren Pedersen,
Here.
Corinne Hennon,
Here.
Jenny Kuski, Christina Olson,
Here.
Matt Bertrand.
Here.
Thank you. Consideration of the agenda, we don't have any changes to the agenda as published. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve agenda.
Lauren, is there a second?
Second.
Oh, Molly, sorry.
We do not sound anything like Molly first, Lauren second.
Did you get that, girls? Ladies? Okay, sounds good. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jordan Pride Awards. Mr. Butine.
All right. Good evening, Board. Thanks for letting me join you this evening to tell you just a little bit about our AAA award winners. They're being awarded with a Jordan Pride Award tonight for having been selected as those award winners from our school this year. A couple of weeks ago, they were honored at a banquet down at Gustavus along with the winners from the other 14 schools in MSHSL Region 2 AA. The AAA award honors students who demonstrate excellence in the arts, academics, and athletics. That's what the 3 A's stand for. So each school in Minnesota selects a winner, both a male student and a female student. And our winners this year were Avery Bond amongst our female student population and Wilson Menden amongst our male student population. So we're extremely proud of all the things that they've done within our student body over the course of the last 4 years across a wide variety of areas. To even be considered of the award means that you've really invested a lot across a variety of different things, and to be selected as our school's winner is really a tremendous honor. At that particular banquet where they were honored, our region secretary, Jamie Sherwood, reads a script about all the winners, and I had just brought what he presented for each of our winners just to read to you so that you can hear a little bit more about what they've done and what our staff members said about them as they were selected as our winners. So, Superintendent Renee K. Stevenson said of Avery Bond, "Avery stands out as one of the most exceptional young people I've encountered in my 29 years as an educator. She fully embodies the qualities celebrated by the AAA award, but most importantly, she's a genuinely wonderful person, kind, thoughtful, and deeply caring in all she does." Avery has made an impact at Jordan High School in the classroom, on the court, and in the music department for 4 years. She has excelled in the classroom, achieving a 3.72 GPA through determination, grit, and integrity. She has excelled as a singer within the choir program throughout her high school years, fulfilling the roles of robe manager for the concert choir and section leader for the soprano section. Lastly, she has been both a successful and diverse athlete, excelling in volleyball while also dabbling in both track and field and softball. Her character is reflected in her having been chosen captain of the volleyball team, and her skill reflected in her selection as an all-conference player this season. Avery reflected on her high school experiences in saying, "I want to leave behind a legacy that reflects how I show up every day, determined to be a role model. I want to be someone others can trust, feel supported by, and feel safe around. I hope that I have left a meaningful impact on the Jordan community. That matters as much to me as anything I've accomplished on the court, field, or stage." Wilson Menden has been involved in a variety of activities at JHS, including multiple offerings within the band program as well as athletics, competing in cross-country, Nordic skiing, and track and field across his high school career. As a percussionist, Wilson has excelled in a variety of areas and earned 3 superior ratings in solo ensemble contests while growing into a leadership role. Wilson has also had a distinguished academic career as a high school student. He carries a 4.12 weighted GPA while engaging in rigorous coursework. As an athlete, Wilson has progressed every year, culminating in his qualification for the state Class AA cross-country meet this fall, with Nordic season still to conclude and track season still to come. The support I received at the state meet from my parents, my coaches, and several teammates who drove to support me reminded me that success in sports is never something achieved alone, Wilson said. It is built from the early morning practices, shared challenges, and the encouragement of people who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. He added that he's learned that sometimes it's about showing up, pushing through nerves and doubt, and appreciating the community that helped get you there. The state cross-country meet was a powerful reminder that I am capable of more, and that every stride I take forward is supported by the people who have encouraged me along the way. Please join me in congratulating Wilson and Avery on their AAA and Jordan Pride Awards.
So I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the banquet at Gustavus, and
I can tell you that all 28 kids representing the 14 schools from our region, to and including these two, just blow you away. I mean, the caliber of students that we have here and the achievements in the arts, academics, and athletics is absolutely amazing. And these two students, hands down, are such great role models and just the epitome of what we want to see for our students. So congratulations to you. And I have an award for each of you from the board that says your name and then says whose endeavor for excellence has shown character, determination, and hard work that represent the values of our school and our community. This is a small token of gratitude to say congratulations and thank you for being role models to others on behalf of the board and the district. So Wilson, thank you very much. And Avery, thank you very much. And they're going to want to do pictures, so thank you.
Very proud of those kids. They are absolutely the best role models. Congratulations to them. Public comments, nobody indicated that they wanted to speak to anything on the agenda. Next we have consent agenda items. We have the minutes from the January board meeting, the monthly financials for January. Donations, we have $45.
I'm sorry, $45 for the JES backpack program for from Mighty Cause, $500 from the Jordan Commercial Club for the emergency Go Buckets, $1,000 for the emergency Go Buckets from the Jordan Fire Department, $1,000 for Jordan Family Outreach from the Jordan Fire Department, $50 for the Jordan Middle School from Holly Kavapel, CAF, $50 for the Jordan Middle School, Holly Kavapel, CAF, and $200 from Jordan Family Dental for the Southwest Fishing Team Jersey sponsorship. Let's see. We have a myriad of policies that were reviewed at our last policy meeting. Hopefully you had time to read through all of those. We also have our employment, matters of employment. We have the new hire, Chelsea Marchias. Cook's helper at the elementary school comes in at lane 2, step 1. Cassidy Worcester was hired as a special ed para in the elementary, lane 2, grade 2, step 3. And Cora Munzinger, a custodian at the elementary, lane 1, step 3. We have the resignations of Jacqueline Quiros, an elementary para, or a para, special ed para in the elementary, and Lauren Kirkpatrick, playground supervisor para at the elementary. We have 2 leaves of absences. One is for Sarah Hodak from February 18th through March 10th, and Michaela Johnson, teacher in the elementary, from May 9th to November 2nd. I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items.
Motion to approve.
Matt, is there a second?
A second.
Corinne? Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, review and act on overnight field trips. We have several of them. We're going to act on each of them separately. So which one do you want to start with, Superintendent? Washington, D.C.
I'm Ansley Peters. I teach 8th grade social studies at the middle school, and I've been doing the DC trip for many, many years. Actually, when I was driving here, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I know the second time I took this trip over from Jim Trapp, and the second time that I went, I remember my daughter Elin, who's now a freshman, was a baby. Like, I remember leaving her at home with Jeff, and like, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, she can go. Like, this is the year she can finally go. So it's kind of I don't know, kind of a surreal experience this year, I suppose. But here's basically the kind of the checklist of everything for the trip. We're looking at the dates of March 18th through the 21st of next year. it coincides with the end of the semester, kind of right before spring break. So it'd be like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then that following Monday through Friday is spring break. Just kind of historically what we've done, and we found that it works out well, mostly because sometimes with sports and things like that, as spring sports kind of get into full gear, and then if families still want to do something over spring break, it just kind of works out. Plus, the other piece is, I looked at maybe going in the summertime, but it gets very, very hot in DC in the summertime. And we did go there as a family once, and I kind of thought, I don't know if this would be ideal, like for like trucking around DC. So we usually hit pretty good, decent weather when we go. Typically, we depart from the middle school. We leave really early in the morning. We travel by coach bus, go to the airport. And then when we land in DC, we always travel by coach bus while we're there. We also get a guide from the company that we work with, which is World Strides, which Mr. Trapp used and recommended, and I've been using them too, and they've been wonderful. We stay for lodging. Usually it's some major hotel chain. We usually don't find out that information until probably like December, January before we go. And same with airlines too. It's typically, we try to fly out of Terminal 2, so just a little bit smaller airport, easier to maneuver with everybody. But we've never really had any hiccups with that. So the purpose of the trip really is to just bring U.S. history to life for students. Get a chance for them to participate in civic education as well. We do all sorts of, I think you have a copy of the, like a sample itinerary of where we visit. And then we get a little bit of flexibility too, where depending upon the group, if they decide like, hey, we really would like to do the White House tour, it takes a few extra steps and having to send some things in. And sometimes they kind of decide as a group like, we don't want to spend all that time because there isn't a ton that you get to see. So we're a little flexible with those things. But I know definitely the favorite stops from kids, and they always say, they go, I feel really odd saying this, but the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum is a very impactful stop. We love going to Mount Vernon, which is George Washington's home, and it's still like an active farm and everything there. They've done a lot of work, and they just underwent a lot of restoration work there too, so it's very, very beautiful. But are there any questions that anyone has?
Sounds like a great opportunity. I know I went, even though I didn't go to school in Jordan, I went in Illinois, but I went to Washington, D.C. I still remember my bus driver's name. He reminded me of Sidney Poitier.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I'm all for it, and I love that you guys do this, so.
Can I just add one note? Is that okay? Also, I just want to note, you do a great job of, advertising the travel insurance and encouraging
Yeah.
families to do that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, sometimes families still don't do that. And that's the worst, the worst thing to find out that you need
Yeah.
it when you do.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to note that because sometimes you guys ask that question and you do a great job.
Yeah, the COVID years was like the one hiccup with it, but yeah, and the company that we use, it's great. If there's anything, they're like, yep, full refund, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many chaperones do you take with?
Depends on the number. So the travel company, once we hit 15, then they'll have, it's for every 15 students, a chaperone can go. Parents are welcome to come. They're not technically a chaperone, but a lot of times we get quite a few parents that want to attend, and they just go through the background check process. And it's kind of funny because a lot of them will say, we should do like an adult Washington, D.C. trip sometime too. That would be fun. So, yeah.
It's a great opportunity for kids, and looking at the itinerary, I mean, you really cram in a lot in a short amount of time, but.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of cool new things too. They just redid the Air and Space Museum, so it was kind of partially open last year, and I think now it's fully open, and yeah, just a lot. I'll have to see.
So the chaperones aren't parents, who are they?
We have taken a staff member in the past, another staff member.
Okay, and how many kids typically go? Sorry if you said that.
It really kind of depends on the year. We've had anywhere from like 15 to 30 to, it just depends.
Okay, and the 2,169 is per student, right? Okay.
Yep, and that covers everything, so, transportation to and from airports here in Minnesota and in Washington DC, transportation throughout Washington DC, all food, all, lodging, everything. So kids typically will say like, well, how, do you bring money with? And it's only if you want to buy souvenirs that you would need any money.
Do they fundraise for it or?
They have, not technically, so there's options, it's in the packet. So there's a flag scholarship program that families can apply for, as well as they have, through World Strides, they have something called the Gift of Education. I would equate it to like, kind of like a GoFundMe. And so you could just put it out like, hey, I'm taking this trip, and then people can just donate towards your trip. And it goes directly to World Strides. One of the nice things, I don't handle any money with any of the kids. It all just goes straight to them.
Other
There-
questions?
Yeah, is there any limit to how many kids can go?
No,
Okay.
no. I've never had that, I guess that to be an issue where it's like, oh my gosh, we have too many. I've never had that. It would be a great problem to have though, yeah.
Other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the trip.
Motion to approve the trip to Washington?
Lauren, is there a second?
I'll second.
Matt, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very
Yep,
much.
thank you.
Yep. Okay. I'm guessing Mr. Buchanan?
All right, I've got, excuse me, total of 3 here for you that we'll take one by one. The first is for Scott West Wrestling. They are reaching postseason time. They actually have their seating meeting tonight for team sections, so that will be coming up here this weekend. But the first field trip is actually for their individual section tournament, which takes place the weekend that follows, in which each of their competitors has an opportunity as an individual to try to qualify him or herself for the state tournament, which is in St. Paul at the end of the month. The individual section tournament is held up in Delano and goes from a Friday into a Saturday. So they're looking at staying overnight at a hotel in Long Lake, not far from there. Their matches, first ones on Saturday morning, start at 8 o'clock in the morning after a later evening the night before. So that's kind of an annual plan for them, depending on where the individual sections are, which is usually kind of up in that neck of the woods. I think it's been at West Tonka and Orono before, and this year it's at Delano. So they have a number of 20 students listed as those that would be traveling on that, chaperoned exclusively by coaches. So that's the first wrestling trip. I don't know if there are any further questions on that one.
Any questions? Okay, this is pretty routine for
Yeah.
us, so,
Motion to approve.
Molly? is there a
Second.
Second, Lauren. Questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, and then the second one is in follow-up to that. This is for the state tournament down in St. Paul. I think it's called Grand Casino Arena now, formerly Excel Energy Center. The exact number of students that would ultimately travel on this trip could be up to the entire team, depends on how they perform at sections over the course of Thursday and Saturday of this week. Otherwise, it would be the group of individuals that qualifies at the aforementioned individual section tournament in Delano. So this is for a to be determined number of hotel rooms. They budgeted on the high side. If the entire team were to qualify, that number would go down depending on the number of individuals that would need to be housed for their participation in the state tournament. But just like the individual sections one, as Deb alluded to, this is kind of an annual deal for the wrestling program. But that one's in St. Paul. Again, the chaperones would be their coaching staff.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Matt, okay, questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and then the third and last one that I have you for tonight is a new one. This is for our robotics team, which for the first time in their history is qualified for their state tournament, which is coming up, as you can see, in early March. They are looking to have one of their teams that has a very early start on March 6th, be able to stay overnight at a hotel the night before up in St. Cloud. They too have like an 8 a.m. start, so they'd be traveling up the day before and having a group of 4 students under the supervision of 2 of their coaches spend one night in a hotel so that they don't have to make the trip to St. Cloud starting too early that morning. So exciting time for our robotics team.
Very exciting.
Motion to approve?
Lauren, is there a second?
I'll second.
Chrissy, okay, discussion? Just kudos to the robotics team. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for them that first time to state. That's awesome.
Yep, and we'll be able to see them back at a future board meeting.
Yeah, and if
So-
you ever get an opportunity, it is a blast to go to state tournament for robotics. It is, they dress in costumes and the floor is just covered with robotic stuff. And it is the biggest blast. It is just great time. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the robotics trip to St. Cloud, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Butine. Thank you. Okay, annual APAC resolution and compliance review. Chad, come on up.
All right, good evening, board. I am here to represent our APAC group and just to kind of share about the great things that we've been doing this year, but also share with you, which is part of our requirements of the either the vote of concurrence or the vote of non-concurrence. As you can see, our council met on the 28th of January and they voted concurrent, and so part of this process is for me to present this to the school board, but also just kind of share about the things of why we're meeting our concurrence, which is our goals on our APAC plan. As we kind of shared in the past, we're continuing to do the same things, but also include a little bit more, especially in field trips for our American Indian students. Some of the things that we are doing is we're continuing to offer after-school tutoring for our students, but also include more of our high school American Indian students going down to the elementary school, and they are working with our elementary school students. Being housed at the elementary school this year a little bit, I get to see firsthand the high school students working with our elementary school students, and it is great to see. So I strongly recommend, if you're ever around, to just walk down there, watch the students interact with one another. Just the elementary students are just in awe with older kids, and so it's just something really cool to see. We are still working with Travis DeCory. He does our drumming. If you've attended our banquet, you get to hear and see Travis drum with our students. He continues to offer that after school, monthly, for our students. We've been doing a lot of field trips this year, and that more towards with our secondary students. This fall we did a horse camp for all students. That was a 2-day camp. They got to learn about the culture of the horse, how it is important to their culture. I believe they did a sweat lodge building out there. They also learned about the different types of flowers and different types of things that you can get from the earth that is native to their culture. Other things that they have done is they visit the Lower Sioux Agency. One of the big things that the high school students get to do is they get to go to the Sioux Chef, which we've had in the past cater for our APAC banquet. So they got to experience the cultural dining up in Minneapolis. They are going to, or no, they actually just went to the Mille Lacs Indian Museum. They are going to, actually they're going to tomorrow, I had to make sure it was the right date, Construct Tomorrow. So a lot of our students are going to the Construct Tomorrow with the high school students. In March, they're going to do the maple syrup activity. They're also going to go visit Augsburg College. And then in April, they're going to the treaty site in St. Peter. And then we're going to end with our honors banquet. So a big part of what we have to do with the vote of concurrence is also just show that we are offering students cultural activities that are relevant to their ethnicity, and also provide them with support with after-school activities, with drumming, but also provide academic support and post-secondary readiness. So that is what we've been doing. Does anyone have any questions?
Questions for Jen? Okay.
All right.
Okay, so this is an action item.
Yep.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the annual compliance, overview for our APEC.
Motion to approve.
Molly is our second.
I'll second.
Matt, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jen, for your work on that. I know it's a lot, so thank you. Okay, budget update. Ms. Haferman.
Good evening. So I'm pretty much going to give kind of the same budget update as I did at the retreat, but just a couple new additions that I've added to it. So as we discussed, so our current budget for this fiscal year 25-26 in our general fund for fiscal year 25, our audited actual numbers, we had a total fund balance, meaning restricted and unrestricted, of $3.9 million. Our unassigned fund balance was about $3,072,000, and that equates to about 11.36% of our annual budget, which the board's policy is 12%. So I feel, and our auditors felt as well, we ended fiscal year 2025 in good financial condition because we started making the adjustments that we needed to make. So for this year that we're in, the fiscal year 2026, our revised budget, very tentative at this time, we're expected to overspend by about $35,000. Now there's a lot of variables that go into that, and a lot of things can still change. So this is due to LTFM projects that we're continuing to do throughout the district. We had some salary increases and also other cost increases, such as utilities might increase, transportation costs. We still don't know if our snowplow budget will come in as expected, but there are some variables. Another thing that we're taking into consideration is we currently have 50 students that are attending the Minnesota Virtual Academy, which is our online learning system that we partner with. So I'm projecting at June 30th, 2026, our unassigned fund balance to increase to about $3.1 million, and that's due to having all of the restricted funds. And this would be about 11.83% of our annual budget. And again, the board's policy is 12%, so we're not far off. So some highlights from this fiscal year LTFM projects highlights. So our grounds, we did the tennis court resurfacing and painting. We did some new fencing at the Den Field. We had some elementary school projects that we're continuing on. The LTFM covered part of the roof so that the entire school could have a new roof. We had to do a chiller disconnect switch, and also we replaced some water heaters. At the middle school, we did some circ track lighting and some circ painting. At the high school, we are beginning to work on the auditorium lighting, and then new fire doors and hardware, and also the parking lot exit lanes and gate repairs. The auditorium lighting work, that will take part, it's gonna start in this fiscal year, but will end during the summer, so we'll cross years. So the sealed bids are gonna be opened on Thursday, I believe, for that project. So for fiscal year 25-26, our food service fund ended the year with a fund balance of about $73,000. And remember, this is because we spent down a lot of our fund balance purchasing new equipment at the elementary school. We purchased new cafeterias at the high school and the middle school, and we put a lot of some new equipment at the high school, and we continue to do so. Breakfasts and lunches are still free. And we also have to take into account that utilities and food costs have increased. So I am projecting a fund balance at June 30, 2026 of $197,500. On to the community service fund. So our total fund balance at fiscal year, the audited numbers for fiscal year 25, we had a total fund balance with all reserved about $124,000. So the reserved for community ed was a negative $228,000. The reserve for ECFE was $84,000, and the reserve for preschool was about $203,000. Some highlights in community ed are more classes and options are being offered, and there are more participants in all areas. Class enrollment and dollars are being reviewed regularly. The CERC membership dollars raised slightly. The facility rental dollars continue to increase. And we also have to keep in mind that our preschool enrollment is stable, but last year we received VPK seats. This year we are not using the VPK seats. We are using scholarship dollars in lieu of those seats, so everything stays in Fund 4 this year. So now we're going to talk a little bit about fiscal year 26-27, which is next year, starts July 1st, 2026. So there's a lot, it's a legislative year. So far, I'm going to project about a 2% increase on the formula, which would bring it to $7,630 per adjusted ADM. The estimated addition, this would be an additional estimated $305,000 to the district. There's going to be expenditure changes. There's salary increases. The paid family medical leave will have a full 12 months into that now because it just started in January. We only see 6 months in this budget. There's also, I'm going to anticipate other cost increases, insurance, not just our health insurance, but also our liability and other insurances, utility cost increases. Our PSEO and online learning costs continue to rise. There's also some things at the state level that I want to keep in the back of our minds is the Blue Ribbon Commission, which is a special education commission that has to lower. They are set, their goal is they have to bring special ed costs down. So one of the things that might be affected in our district is the ADSIS grant. There's also a compensatory revenue task force, and so for 2026, we were held harmless, meaning we got the same or close to the same amount as we did in 25. I'm actually doing a webinar this Wednesday on what that's going to look like for 2027, so there will be more to tell as the days go by. Looking ahead, our rough projection in the general fund, I'm projecting a decrease or overspend of about $350,000. The variables in that is our enrollment. Our enrollment remains stable. It increases and decreases throughout the year. And we currently have 73 registrations for kindergarten, which is above that. That's the most that we've had at this time of year for a long time. And I will budget for 100, hoping we get more. There's legislative decisions, and there's still unknown expenses, like I've talked about, insurance premiums, utilities, unplanned for events. There's going to be transportation cost increases and many other things.
So looking at what this looks like annually, every year we look at the budget projections for the year ahead of us. And again, as Amy mentioned, that's developed as information comes available. Wednesday we'll know more about comp ed funds. We should, by the February 28th deadline, have an idea what our inflationary rate will be, whether that's 2% or whether it's less or more than that. We should know at that time. Every December, as you're aware, at the board meeting, there's an annual audit, truth and taxation review where you certified the levy. And then those internal considerations annually are important. We do a class size review, we project the section counts, course registrations, consider program reductions, program additions, and then any non-negotiables and priorities. So there's always items that we keep in mind, and those numbers are always only a projection using the information that we have available. More accurate information is provided as the revised budget comes in June, as we know more variables. The other thing I would say, we're starting student registration, so February 2026, that's where we are. And so I actually had my first staffing meeting today. I have another one tomorrow. I have 2 more next week, and we'll be looking at those initial FTE needs, taking a look at section counts, and we review that all the way through August. We'll be looking at all of our expenditures and start developing any recommendations for any reductions or efficiencies that we might need to make, and then just planning for staffing and programming. And then also the communication piece of that. We begin communicating on any recommended staffing adjustments as well. In March, JMS will start their registration. That's where we'll start talking more about board recommendations for action on any proposed staffing adjustments, and then communicate that with impacted staff members. And then April through August, every year, that's where we're monitoring daily. You know, I send you weekly enrollment counts of adds, drops, where we are with section counts, really until about 2 weeks before school starts. So we'll continue monitoring those variables as we move forward. Any questions?
Am I correct, the Blue Ribbon Commission, we're not expecting any decisions from that for foreseeable future, right?
I truly don't know when they will report back to the legislature. I know that they begin their session February 17th, which is next Tuesday. But when they are required to report to the legislature, I don't know that deadline. I would assume before the end of the school year. My only hope would be that they hold districts harmless through this budget year so that we would have time to plan. Because our ADSIS dollars are significant. They're well over $600,000. Some years it's up to $1 million. So, and those are what ADSIS dollars are. It's a 55% reimbursable on salaries for supportive roles. You can't supplant. These are roles that we needed to have and add to support students. And we received that a year later in the funding. So my hope is they would hold people harmless for a year, but with the Minnesota legislature, you just, I just don't know. But we'll continue to advocate.
Yeah, because down the road, that'll be a huge impact on our budget if it doesn't go well.
Yep.
Pardon?
They still have to vote on their recommendations too, so I think the legislature still has to vote on the Blue Ribbon, so it could be, hopefully,
And they
fingers
could
crossed.
send the commission back and say, start over. They could extend
Yeah.
their work for a year. It's
big amount of
very
money.
unpredictable.
Yeah, there's a lot of money looming, so.
It's very
It's an
unpredictable.
election year.
And it is an election year, and it's a year that, unfortunately, folks at the legislature have been publicly, you've seen that probably, stating that they don't anticipating getting anything done, which is troubling to hear because, we really want them to always be working hard to get things done for the state, so I'm hopeful that that's, the way that looks. But I think ADSIS has been targeted more because ADSIS is pre-referral. And so they're seeing that as maybe, okay, it's not necessarily special education dollars, it's pre-referral, which is very backwards in my mind because you would want to have early intervention for students moving forward, but I truly don't know. There are
Yeah.
so many advocate groups right now that are, I'm sure, sharing what they think should happen, and it's really tough to tell where that will land.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Amy or Aaron? Okay, this will be helpful information as we move along the next couple months with decisions that we'll be making, so thank you very much, Amy. And that is not an action item, that was information only. Next, we have review and act on the resolution directing administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons thereof. Therefore, Superintendent Evenson.
And this is an annual, we do this procedurally every year in the event that we may need to make reductions. And based on Amy's budget report, there's a good chance we'll be looking at reducing some components. Also, depending on what happens with the Blue Ribbon Commission and comp ed dollars, it could be more significant than we've projected, but time will tell. So this is something that we do annually every year in February or March to make sure that we are in compliance moving forward in the event we need to make any staff adjustments.
And there are legal timelines. You wanna explain that?
Yeah, this needs to be done about this time of year. March 15th is one timeline that is important to note. Any licensed staff member has until March 15th to change or modify their licensure. Sometimes people add a license before then, sometimes they remove a license. In larger districts, you might have somebody that has been teaching second grade their whole career, 30 years. They've carried their special education license the entire time, and to avoid getting shifted due to a budget reduction or bumping process into special ed, they drop their sped license. They would have to do that by March 15th. So all of these things procedurally are advised by attorneys just to make sure that we're in line. And once reductions are made and staff are notified, you know, there's a notarization process and communication within that 10 days. And then we have until June 30th to make any reductions.
Okay, so this is a resolution that reads pursuant to due call and notice thereof, a meeting of the School Board of Independent School District number 717, Jordan, Minnesota, was held on the 9th day of February 2026 at 6:10 p.m. Following board members were present. That'll be listed in the minutes. The resolution reads, resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore. And then it goes on with all the whereases and be it resolved. You all have it in front of you. I'm not gonna read that. So I will entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion to approve.
Matt?
I'll second.
Corinne, second. Any questions or discussion, thoughts? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Molly Maniak,
Yes.
Lauren Pedersen,
Yes.
Corinne Hennon,
Yes.
Christina Olson,
Yes.
Matt Bertring,
Yes.
Deb Polly.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, on to our board and administrative reports. Superintendent Evenson.
All right, well, Chair Polly, members of the board, honestly, I can't believe we are in February already, which means kindergarten registration is open. Look at Corinne smiling because it's going to get warm soon.
Back to school.
And it is, it's almost time. We are planning back to school. It starts in 5 minutes. Make fun of me. But I will correct Amy. As of this morning, I think Heather said we had 76 kindergartners registered. So we had 3 more to, 3 more since this last week. So that's a good correction, right, Amy? Yeah. And these are summer numbers for us, so this is good that we have this many kids registered. Very exciting. Just a reminder, though, if there are any families out there listening, it is important to register as soon as possible so that we can have the appropriate staffing levels in place and really help us to keep those class sizes where we want them to be. So families can register on our website or just reach out to us and we can help them out with what they need to do. Preschool registration opened up, I believe, last Wednesday. My goodness, everyone was online, I think at 8 a.m. on the dot, and I think our classes filled up by 8:01. I'm exaggerating, but really soon. And so we're actually looking at adding even a section. This year, families have the option to enroll their preschoolers in a 5-day-a-week class. And we still have our 3-day and 2-day-a-week options as well. But we would encourage families to connect with us if they have any questions. We are underway planning. I mentioned this earlier in my budget report. It's that time of year where registration is happening. I'll be sitting down with principals and literally looking at registration to every course that we have. And seeing, do we have enough to run the class? Do we need to combine a class? What does that look like? Do we not offer it this year? Do we offer it second semester? What does that look like? So those are the things that are happening now. There's a lot that goes into just planning for the school year, and so we continue to monitor those impacts as we go along. 2 things that I would like to just add as well. Number 1, community gratitude. This weekend, many of us were able to attend Boots and Bling Gala. They don't call it a gala anymore, Boots and Bling. It was phenomenal. I cannot believe the amount of work that JEF and our Booster Club put into that event. Henry, you did a great job playing music and singing. Your voice was incredible. So proud of you kids and just so appreciative, and just the things that happened to support our programs is just amazing. And then also, I just want to comment on community outreach. We have been so blessed to have so many people that reach out and step up and offer support for student programs, for different things that are going on in the community. And I think I've said this to you a few times, but I think an engaged community is a really healthy community. And I think it's so important just to honor and recognize that. And just, I have a lot of gratitude for people that step up. So just wanted to say thank you. And that concludes my report. Any questions?
Any questions or comments? No? Okay, Henry, I think we'll turn to you.
Yeah, so not a lot for you guys today. The high school, we had our Frosty Dance on Saturday, and I was not able to attend, but I heard it was very good. It was very developed by the student council. It was nicely decorated. They had lots of different activities along with having a dance. So that was good. I heard lots of positive feedback from students about that. Some other updates from the high school is that the choir concert will be next Thursday, as well as the band concert is going to be on the 27th. And I believe both of those are at 7, but I don't have that confirmed, so don't call me. The middle school has invitation conferences next week, Tuesday. And then the elementary school, Ms. Stevenson kind of talked a little bit what I was going to talk about. Kindergarten registration is open, and same with preschool registration. And yeah, it's kind of all I have for you guys today. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Are you getting senioritis?
I'm going to say no because of all of the activities I'm doing, but for schoolwork, I'm definitely ready to get my college acceptances done and have that process be over with.
Great. Any questions for Henry?
No.
Thank you guys.
Great report, thank you. Okay, and we have the rest of the administrative reports. Any questions or comments on any of them? I just want to give them a shout out and a thank you for always updating us through their reports. It's always a lot of very valuable information for us. So, thank you to them. Yes. School board member reports. Budget finance calendar has not met. City school. We had a very, very good city school meeting last week. Matt and Lauren and myself attended along with representatives from the city. And let's see who was there from the district. John Butine and Cullen and Renee and Amy, yes. It was a very productive meeting. We covered a lot of stuff that the city has a lot of projects in the works. One of the things that we talked about was some potential upgrades on Hope Avenue that you'll be hearing more about that will involve probably the school district and some of our property there. And then there's just some other long-range things that the city is doing that potentially will have some impacts on some of our school property and functions and stuff. So more to come on that. But it was really a good meeting, very good information. Community ed and rec.
We didn't meet. I'm assuming we will probably be talking a lot about Celebrate Jordan coming up, but
And that's when, Corinne?
April
April 12th, I've got it.
April 12th
12th.
or 19th.
19th?
12th.
That'd be
It's
late.
the 12th? Okay. So yeah, we haven't met.
Okay, district advisory, Jenny's not here. Let's see. Pretty much it was a recap of what our building principals did at our board retreat. They talked about changes in their class offerings, and Melissa talked about the math program and the READ Act. Ben talked about some potential changes with the electives at the middle school, and Jeff gave a very good synopsis about our post-secondary options, our CIS and CE and advanced placement classes, that we need to help get the word out to the community about the opportunity that those classes are for our kids. I think he said if our kids can get, what was it, 75 college credits?
I would say, I was
Or-
gonna say 78, but
Yeah.
it's over 70. You can't, I mean, we offer that many. I
Right.
think they could only actually get like 48 because they have so many days, but
Yep.
we offer that many.
Yeah, and I think
Henry, you can maybe speak to this too, about the opportunities for the students. In fact, I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, so these kind of classes, they offer a specific kind of experience for our students to get access to a curriculum that will, help them get credits that will, benefit them when and if they go into post-secondary enrollment options after high school, as well as kind of prepare them for that said post-secondary enrollment experience. So classes like, the CIS courses or the AP courses or the concurrent enrollment courses, those classes offer another level of rigor that will help them not just in that post-secondary enrollment environment, but also in the rest of their lives, preparing them for skills such as, debating or writing papers or, having argument and being a cohesive in a debate or argument. And I really think they're a great opportunity for students to kind of acclimatize themselves to what's coming next. I've been fortunate to be in many of those classes, and I can attest personally to the experience that I've received by taking those classes. Not only, that'll help me later on in college, but just as an experience as in high school still. So I think they're very positive, and I'm grateful for the program that we have.
Plus, you save a lot of money on college, college credits by walking out of the school with those college credits, so. So just try to help promote that in the community so that as students are in the process right now of signing up for classes about the opportunities that we do have here, so. Okay, facilities has not met, meet and confer, we've not met negotiations. Matt and Lauren and I have been talking with our superintendent on her contract, which is coming up, and then also we did get the notice from Local 284, their notice of intent to negotiate. So we'll be setting a date to start those negotiations.
Hopefully we can start this spring.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, policy, we have another policy committee coming up on, let's see, where do I have it?
25th, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure, if you're on policy, make sure you RSVP on the invite from Renee for that. APAC, we covered that tonight. I did sit in on the APAC meeting this month. It was virtual, and Chad gave the APAC report. That's basically what we covered at the APAC meeting. Booster Club, Chrissy.
No, you should
Matt.
update that, it's Matt.
Matt, yeah, that's Ron. Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I attended my first meeting last week. Much of the meeting was revolved around the gala of getting tickets sold, things like that, and then a little bit of talk about that and just how their fundraising is going really well throughout town, and just finding ways to navigate that. And then kind of distribution of funds. So that was kind of the overall of the gist of the meeting. So.
Great, thank you. Ed Foundation.
They haven't met other than the Boots and Bling.
Yeah, the committee's been,
Very
subcommittee has
busy,
been
yes.
incredibly busy. We've met weekly for about the last 3 months, I think, getting ready for Boots and Bling, so it'll be interesting. I know they're in the process. They just released the request for grants.
For grants, yep.
So, if there's any staff out there that are looking at writing a grant, now is the time for that. Legislatively, we're just, building up for start of session, and just a reminder that the MSBA Day at the Capitol is coming up, March 9th, so, we need to get signed up for that, so if you're able to go, it's a great day, so hopefully some of you will be able to go to that.
Please email by February 13th so that we can get registered and make sure that we can go. And they set up appointments for us, which is really nice. I know some of you have gone in the past. It's an amazing opportunity and really good days. So
I would highly recommend, I can't go this year, I'll be out of town, but I would highly recommend going. It is quite an experience. You learn so much. All the districts, go in and go downtown, you'll get an update from MSBA, and then you go in and you talk to your legislators. You can watch some of them talking in session and in their meetings. It's so beneficial. I would highly recommend going.
What
I
day
wish
is
I
this?
could go.
March 9th.
So it's a Monday? It's our s-
Monday.
It's our school board meeting?
Yep.
We'll be back.
We leave early in the morning
Got
because
it.
it starts with a session. Denise Dietrich and the lobbyists, actually, and Deb Henton from NASA is usually there and speaks, and they give kind of an orientation as to what's gonna be going on in session. They have several of the legislators come and present to us. Last year, Ben was one of them that came and spoke, Representative Baker. And they have like a roundtable type discussion. And then after that, we go over to the Capitol and, go and meet individually with our senators and representatives, have lunch, and we're done by like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we'll be heading back in time for the board meeting, so.
So just let us know so we can get you registered if you.
You can put me down, Heather. Okay. Chrissy, are you gonna go again? Good, good, good.
Perfect. I'm sorry, what?
Students are in their own day. Yeah. Great, good. So it'll be interesting to see what this legislative session holds for us. MSHSL, they had a meeting last week, a regular board meeting. And they send out the minutes from the board meeting. So they had a presentation. So we have a very active esports group here in Jordan. And there's a group that are trying to get MSHSL to be the emerging partner for esports. So that would kind of be the equivalent of how robotics is run and Play Target. So they're not a full-fledged MSHSL entity that MSHSL runs. The club runs it, but the MSHSL is involved with the state tournaments and those things. So that's a work in progress. And along that same line, girls flag football and girls team wrestling are both seeking to be full league governance and sanction members of the MSHSL. So there's a good chance that that'll take place. Things move very slowly with MSHSL, so these things will be down the line, but those things are in the works. Also, baseball fans must be pretty rowdy because they adopted rules that prohibit coordinated chants from the high school baseball dugouts.
Well, they do for baseball, not softball?
Says baseball.
Interesting. Baseball doesn't really do softball does.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, what is happening at
I
baseball?
know. Yeah, it was baseball. Hi.
Where are the doors locked?
Because the meeting's almost over.
What?
Started at 5:30.
5:30.
We changed that at the board meeting last month.
Oh my god, it's in my calendar wrong.
Oh. Anyway, I'm glad you're here.
Sorry.
Um,
You're like making dinner. You're okay.
And so that's something new. And then also, they approved the proposal to seed boys and girls soccer for the state tournament, seeding them 1 through 8, which apparently is different than how they did it before. So those were the highlights from MSHSL. Scale, Lauren, were you there?
They are meeting this Friday.
Okay.
They
Second.
are, and I cannot attend. Are you able to go?
Yeah, I plan on going. I'm not going to be out of town. We're canceling whatever
Okay.
our plans were.
It'll be a really good conversation. They're going to talk about some of the unfunded mandates and some of the federal funding shifts. Superintendent Ryan Lager and Superintendent Michael Thomas. So Belle Plaine and Prior Lake are going to represent our superintendents in Scott County and talk a little bit about the impact to schools. And then there will be just some other folks from Scott County there as well, talking about some of the unfunded mandates.
I could maybe go with you.
Okay.
Free Friday. So
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Okay. SEAC, Molly?
They did not meet.
Okay, Southwest Metro, we met, but there was nothing too dramatic going on. It's CTE month. They're gonna be doing some changes. They're moving a lot of programs to the Dean Lakes building, which is the building where we had our board retreat last year. Gonna be doing some reorganization there. The PROACT, which was it was kind of a company that worked with special needs people, used to rent space from them, and they moved out of there, so just some changes happening there.
they're gonna bring over more of the stuff that's at the 401 building. In Chaska is gonna be pretty much the career tech stuff they're gonna have in the Dean Lakes building. So that's all a work in progress. So other than that, I think that is it for that. So we'll just go around and do board reports. Henry, anything else you want to share with us?
Just really busy. Basketball is going well. We have a competition coming up for our competitive acapella group at the high school on the 21st in Lakeville. It's going to be super fun. My all-state choir performance is coming up on the 14th, this Saturday.
Where is that?
It was supposed to be at Orchestra Hall, but they moved it to St. Albert Michaelsville.
Okay.
Other than that, still working through the college process and passing legislation, hopefully in this next upcoming legislative session. Just trying to get through the winter. Just ready for spring.
Great, thank you. Matt?
Yeah, I just went to the gala, my first gala on Saturday. It was a lot of fun. There was lots of bling. I brought my own. And so a lot of fun. I just want to say thanks again to the kids in our music program. They did a great job. And Cullen and Mr. Franklin did a wonderful job emceeing. So I can see there was a ton of work that went into it. So it was a great night. So.
I don't have a whole lot. Just looking forward to wrestling sections coming up. And then I heard the Frosty dance was very fun. My son went for the first dance, so
I saw the pictures.
he was very excited. So it's pretty cool. That's all I got.
We're in the midst of signing the kids up for spring stuff already. Just crazy to think. Summer's almost here, Corinne. I'm sorry I was late. I fixed my calendar in my thing. I don't know, yeah. That's about it. Went to Boots and Bling, it was fun.
Same, went to Boots and Bling. Going on vacation next week. That's all.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
I went to the Boots and Bling as well, and that is a fun event every year, and we have a great group that put that together for both the JEF and the Booster Club, and how they collaborate and get the whole thing organized and put together. It's just amazing. I think it'd be great to also see how we can reach out to the JES parents as well and have some participation from them, because I don't think they really realize how much fun that this event is, and all of the items that are donated for the silent auction and things like that. It's a really good event, and it's a big event, and I just hope and pray it continues to grow and grow and grow.
So I also went to Boots and Bling, and my husband apparently should have listened to Lauren and Corinne on which card to choose in the game.
Yes.
And Matt, yeah, I steered him wrong, and we lost the game. No, it was really fun. It was a good time. Good to see the community out supporting our students. I don't really have anything else. Everything else was good.
I want to give a shout out to the one act play. They took first at subsections, and so it was really, really good. They did a great job. It was a great play. So very, very, very proud of them. It was a fun evening. And I also went to Boots and Bling. I was involved. I was on the committee. Lots of fun. So big shout out to Jenny Carline, who really heads that up and takes on a lot. She does a lot with the boosters and with JEF. So and to her whole committee. Very good, very good. Just a reminder that in March, we will have, Day at the Capitol on the 9th, and also we will have our regular board meeting that night at 5:30. All meetings are 5:30 now, Jenny. So we do have We do have a meeting on February 23rd. That will be a workshop meeting and a special meeting, and Superintendent Evenson and I have talked about the possibility of walking some of the property lines, just to educate us all. So that we'll keep you posted on that. And then the second meeting in March, we will have a second meeting in March. Sometimes we don't because of spring break, but we will. And we have moved that from the 23rd to the 16th. You all should have gotten the calendar invites. So we'll have 2 meetings back to back, the 9th and the 16th. And the 9th will be a regular board meeting. The 16th will be a special meeting and workshop meeting. Okay.
I will be out of town the month of March, so will I be able to Zoom in and we'll set it up with the Zoom? I've already given my address because it's a public meeting. Anybody can come to the location that I'll be
Yeah.
at to attend it.
You're good with that. Legislatively, that changed, I think,
Right.
last year, so you'll be okay as long as we can see you, you can see us.
So for
And we-
special meeting and workshop,
Yeah, I believe so.
that was included in the legislation?
I believe
Okay,
so.
good.
I will double check. We'll
Okay.
make sure, but I believe we're good.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Okay, if not,
Motion to adjourn.
we are adjourned.